Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Voxcaster podcast. We are back on another Sunday preview. Joined by my co-host Kim, as always. It's gonna be a really, really short one.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
So yeah, she said Sunday preview, brief pause ahead of Christmas. I'm pretty sure they did this every year, where they do like 2 weeks around the holidays, or maybe 1 week. They don't have any real preview because should have already got your gifts type of thing. Anyway, it says we're halfway through December now, which means that with the festive holidays are coming up and Christmas descending on Warhammer World, as such, there's nothing to available for pre-order next week. Yesterday, Warhammer Darkwater arrived in stores around the world, so you can go pick up your copy in person.
Yeah, there may be something that we have to do.
We did, so Darkwater did come out this weekend. We did pre-order ours as well as the Blighted Paths, Path to Glory, big Path to Glory game, starting in the new year. We're going to do a whole campaign and stuff. And then, we got to go pick up our Darkwater box. We were supposed to get it yesterday, but somebody told me no. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah, it's weird. I fell asleep and I didn't want to go and I was just so comfy.
So you prioritize sleep and your health over miniatures?
I know, it does seem funny. It does seem a little ridiculous. I know.
Weird. Moving on though, there's not much in this article, guys. The read time is literally less than 2 minutes. The final Christmas shipping deadlines have passed for most places, but there are a handful of territories where you can still get a bit of time left. Check out the web store gift ideas here, and then they kind of give you like a link. These are it's just gonna be a link to like your last minute stuff. So like your little ornaments, your little dice packs, like little stocking stuff for little stuff. So if you're somebody who's looking to get like your kid or like if your partner's into Warhammer and stuff like that, the best thing I would recommend is check out your local hobby shops. A lot of them usually order in stuff. Like our local shop, what's the company the random dice and the random packs that we always buy? You know what I'm
Loot
talking about?
box? Mystery loot box?
I think it's called Mystery Loot Box or something like that. Anyways, what it basically is like inside it is like random dice that are like randomly made with random colors, stuff like that. And they usually come with like a pack of like 6, and you can choose your game modes. So for example, like there was a D&D one, there's a Warhammer one, and then there's a mix. And for my hobby vice, so I did the International Secret Santa, I bought him, he's into D&D and Warhammer, so I bought him the mix set just so he could have like some cool new dice, right? Because as players, we always need more dice. Everybody gets addicted with their own dice, and everybody claims that their dice is the best. If you've actually watched me play with my dice, you will say Max's dice are the best.
And if you watch me play with my dice, you will say Kim's dice are the worst.
I've actually had people tell me, like, dude, you can't use those dice. And they're just regular Chess X dice. Like, I literally bought them in front of him, but I was playing with them. And he's like, yeah, no, you can't use those. Like,
Just because of how well you roll.
No, yeah, I just roll really well. It was so funny too. One time I was playing with mine who like we got into the hobby a long time ago together. And one of our games we were playing, he rolls like you, like he rolls really, really bad. He's like, man, this is so stupid, blah, blah. And I just told him like, dude, you just have to be nice to your dice. If you ask them for a 6, you'll get a 6. He's like, this is so dumb. He's like, okay, please give me a 6. And he rolled it. It was a 6. And I was like, see? I'm just nice to my dice. I'm just nice.
I'm so nice to my dice. I take them out on outings. I let them see the world, and still they betray me.
See, I have this saying though. I don't know if this is accurate. It's probably not. My saying is, if you're lucky in Warhammer, you got unlucky in life.
That's right. You have said that.
Like, I've had a pretty rough, very rough upbringing, if you can even call it an upbringing. But hey, I can roll dice like nobody.
But 3 6s in a row.
Never got the love of a mother and father, but if you need me to roll 2 6s on a dice,
I got you.
I got you. But tell me what it's like to have the love of a parent. I'll never know. Anyways, not the point. That's Max's miseries. Another episode for later. But no, sorry. My recommendation is like go to your local hobby shop or your local Games Workshop if they're close by. I know in some areas they're really, really far now because they decrease the store count. But even like a lot of local shops, like they do like Christmas little like gifties and like last minute stocking stuffers, nifty gifties, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And those things are usually great because you can't go wrong with it because they're like little things like I'm sure if Kim got like a grot Christmas ornament, like was she gonna be upset? Like, oh my god, I got a grot Christmas ornament. You know what I mean? But it's something like that. It's like what? 15, 20 bucks. I don't know. It's Games Workshop. It's probably like 40 bucks. But it's like, let's just say it's 15, 20 bucks. Little something like that. But then it gives the person like, oh, you thought about my hobby and you got me a gift related to what I'm already passionate about. Versus I just got you something random off the shelf because I thought it looked cool, but it has nothing to do with what you're actually interested in. Like, if you're into like AOS and 40K and you get like an old world box.
You're like, oh,
You could probably kit basher, but I'm just saying most of the time you'd probably be like, or like if you were like, hey, I'm super into, the old world, and then you accidentally got like a Saturnine box for Christmas. Well, my
I think we all know.
Jade Warriors are all gonna have bolters now, I guess.
The massive Saturnine shoulders.
On the little guy.
No.
No. It's I was thinking for the Jade Warriors for the for the old world. What's the Chinese army I want to play?
Oh,
The Jade Army. They're from like China, and they're like
I know.
the Chinese dragon and the Jade Warriors. And
Yeah.
Cathay. Sorry, wow, I'm so sorry.
I do not remember.
So
that
Cathay, like imagine Cathay guys, but all with bolters and Saturnite.
just walking around.
Like there's a dude beside you who's got like one of those old like those olden grenades they used to make, which are just like two fused iron halves together that they stuffed with like gunpowder and shit, and then the pressure just made it explode, and people thought it was magic back in the day. But like those like old school grenades, there's like one dude with one of those, and there's a guy next to like a full on like high tech plasma grenade or something. What the hell?
Yeah, the guy's like, I think I stand a chance.
It's one hell of an armory. But okay, moving on, it says if you're getting ready for some time off filled with painting and building, head over to the festive season where there's plenty of great tutorials on Warhammer YouTube channel, loads of animations and shows to be found on Warhammer TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Warhammer TV is great if you're willing to pay for it. Again, I understood a lot of people's gripe with Warhammer Plus because it's like, well, you can just buy 1 month once a year and see everything. Like there's not really, it's not like if you were to buy like Crunchyroll, like their free 14-day member pass that they give you, or their 30-day pass or whatever for Crunchyroll, bro, you're buying more than 30 days. You can't watch, like, if you just want to watch One Piece, bro, 30 days is not enough to watch all of One Piece. We're on episode 1138 or something. You don't have enough time to watch all of the One Piece episodes in those 30 days. You're going to buy it. Most likely, if you're into like a One Piece, you're into other animes, you're into other things, you're just going to buy it, and that's how they get you. Because in the 14 days, you see how much there is, and it's worth the value of $5 a month. But with Warhammer Plus, I can see a lot of people's arguments where they say, "Well, I just buy it once or twice a year for the 2 times a month, or two monthly payments twice a year spread out." And they're like, yeah, if I want the miniature, I'll just contact a buddy who has Warhammer Plus, or I'll find it online or whatever, or recast, whatever. And they just save a lot of money. We get Warhammer Plus almost every year just because I'm not a patient person. I'm a very impatient person. So I'm working on it. That's actually one of my goals for 2026 is to be a more patient person. Maybe not speed paint everything, try acrylics again. You're like, whoa, what is this?
Now we're talking a lot crazy.
But yeah, no, I think Warhammer Plus, like over the holidays, is something that's really good. Like you're gonna have time off, it's your whole family.
You can easily get through seasons of.
Well, how long did Black Talon take us? Like Black Talon's not
A day?
that long. Season 1, yeah, it was like a day for us. Now we binged.
So we watched them back to back. I think it took us like from morning to afternoon.
Like it wasn't even that bad. But the one thing that they are bringing to Warhammer 2 is Black Talon continues, which is the season 2. And then on Loremasters, they're talking about Dire Avengers, the like main. You're not an Eldar player, so like an Eldar, they're aspect warriors. So the Dire Avengers are an aspect warrior. Aspect warriors are all like warriors that specialize in a type of warfare. For example, like fire dragons are good at using meltdown flames. Swooping hawks are good at using wings and quick hit and run tactics. Like things like that. Striking scorpions are your stealth guys. Howling banshees are your very fast, agile elite killers. Like things like that. Warp spiders are good at like repositioning so they can be everywhere you need them to be. The Dire Avengers were the first aspect warriors because they all come from a Phoenix Lord who's the founder of it. So the Phoenix Lord, Fugan, is the Phoenix Lord of the Fire Dragon. So the way that the Fire Dragons do warfare was written and done by Fugan first, and then he teaches everyone the path of the dragon, which is how to become a fire dragon.
Right.
Because the Eldar, that's how they do it. They live so long that they dedicate their lives to certain aspects of life so that a Slanesh can't haunt them, because then they get desires and Slanesh will want their soul. But if you stay dedicated to like a path of the warrior, a path of the seer, or like one of the paths, there's like hundreds of paths that Eldar can take. And then once you do one path, you can either continue to change. So for example, like somebody who's a striking scorpion can then go, after they become pretty proficient at being a striking scorpion, you have a choice. Do you want to become an exarch, which is you dedicate your life for the rest of your life that you will teach other striking scorpions how to come up and be as good as you? Or do you want to then say, I don't want to become an exarch and dedicate my whole life to this. I will now change my path to something else. So you could be a striking scorpion for the first like 100 years, then you're a warp spider for 100 years, then you're a fire dragon for 100 years. But then all that accumulates into a special role later called an autarch, which is you've walked multiple paths of war, so you can understand how to put these groups together to make one functioning army that can excel at everything. Tark is a war leader now that has walked multiple paths and understands how to use them all together the most efficient way.
Right.
So this is just a Loremaster video about the Dire Avengers. So their specialty is the good at all, master of none. So they are good at shooting, they're decent in combat, but for example, like Striking Scorpion or Howling Banshee will always outdo them in combat.
Yeah, there's
A
always going
Dark
to be
Reaper
somebody
will
better.
always outshoot them. But can a Dark Reaper shoot and then be in combat as good as Dire Avengers? No. So Dark Reapers are like all these other aspects, they're pretty much min-maxing everything, where like Dark Reapers are maxing out their offensive long range and minning out their melee capabilities. The Dire Avengers do not min-max. They're your middle ground. So they can shoot pretty good, they can assault pretty good, they're pretty good at this, they're pretty good at that, but they're master of none.
Yeah, I like those type of players though. I find that, or like those type of models and units.
Dire Avengers are very popular. There's entire lists you can make where you just take them. They get like their gun is a longer range than the regular. So there's like you have your Guardians, which is like your military, which is like your militia. So like your regular people that live on Craft World, but it's like, hey, there's a giant threat. Pick up a gun or die. So your Guardians are your basic militia, unless you're talking about the Craft World Ulthway, who then train their Guardians because they don't have a war. They don't really have an army. So their citizens are the army. So there's a special thing for the Craft World of Ulthway called Black Guardians, which is specialized to the Ulthway Craft World because their Guardians are like a tier above everybody else's, but they don't really have a functioning army because they have so many Psychers that too many people walk the path of the Seer that they don't actually have like a real, like they do, but it's not like if another Craft World was to go like military might versus them, they would lose. But if they were to go psychic might. So anyways, not the point.
No.
So no, but a lot of people I like these Loremaster videos for people like yourself who are pretty new, who are getting into it. What is a Dire Avenger? Why would I want to play a Dire Avenger? Who is Azraman? Who's their Phoenix Lord? Who's Azraman? Why is he such an iconic figure? Why is he such a big thing? Why are they blue and white instead of being some other color? Why did they paint the guys that are good at all, master of none, also in the same blue that Ultramarines are, which are also good at all, master of none chapter? Kind of weird how everybody who's good at all, master of none is blue. Anyways, besides the point. So yeah, but these Loremaster videos are also great to catch up on, like over the Christmas break. If you're doing nothing, you're painting, doing hobby, and you
Something
have
in the
Warhammer Plus, throw on Loremaster videos in the background. Throw on the Voxcaster podcast while you're waiting for episodes to drop. Put on a Loremaster video. Maybe learn about some of these units. Then when you get back to our podcast, when our next episode drops on Wednesday, you can then, understand some of the things that we're talking about. And I'm not opposed to these. What I wish they would do is I wish Games Workshop, what they would do is half of them were behind Warhammer Plus and half of them weren't, because I feel like a lot of people don't even understand. Like you, if you've never watched a Loremaster video and you're new to the hobby, what does Loremaster mean to you? What is that? Is that a 5-minute video? Is that a 50-minute breakdown? Is that Jess Goodwin who designed what they look like? Is that his interview with them? Like, what does this mean? Does this mean the lore of where their concept came from, the lore of them in the story, the lore of them as a whole, how they work with it? Like, there's a lot to it. So I wish they would post like once a month, maybe, or maybe even once every quarter. Here's a Loremaster video on YouTube, so you can actually see what a Loremaster is for everyone. So you don't have to pay for it, right? Because Warhammer Plus is a paid product. Because then you can just say like, hey, here's on YouTube, jump on, see what this is. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, don't pay for Warhammer Plus. The next one's coming next quarter. Or maybe you and a buddy split for like a month. So he pays it one month, you pay it the next month, whatever. And then you just buy like the once every 6 months, but then you understand what you're buying.
No, I think that's actually a really good idea. And it can only help Warhammer. Yeah, you're getting more information out there. You're getting people understanding your models, your game, whatever. People are going to want to invest in that. People are going to want to.
Yeah.
Once you understand something, it makes it so much more fun.
Exactly. But yeah, no, other than that, that's pretty much the entire preview. I know I rambled on there a little bit about random stuff like always, but no. And then for our hobby stuff,
honestly, just continuing painting,
building.
Painting, dry brushing, building, priming.
Your entire Skaven tied half.
So good.
I still have to prime your trolls. My OCRs are like literally like 2 colors away from being done.
Yeah, I finally finished dry brushing all of them.
So those will be done probably today or tomorrow. And then with the OCRX done, I might go back to Seraphon to finish some of the Seraphon because they're very
Yeah.
close to being done. Excited for us to start working on Darkwater stuff.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Water, Path of Glory.
Yeah, for Darkwater, we were even joking. We're like, yeah, we're gonna take it to our Christmas because it's just a board game, right? It's not even like yeah, it's Warhammer themed, but it's a board game. Anybody who's into board games will like this. You don't have to be into Warhammer and have an army to play it. So we were even thinking like, hey, we'll take it to like our parents and like play with our parents. You can have up to like what 5 or 4 people playing or something. So if we did us and like like we did like even like with like your brother,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be or like even the two of them and parents or like they play.
Yeah, they would actually have fun.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's like it's just like a regular board game. It's not like, hey, you need to be into Warhammer to understand this. It's like, no, you just move it, do the thing it says. And
Yeah, follow the direction.
so no, we're really excited for Darkwater. We'll probably have like a bigger review of it next week because that's something I want to dive into because one of the design features that they did with this, which is their book, their map book, needs to be talked about because this is one of the best business decisions Games Workshop's ever made. I've actually said that going forward, if they could find a way to do this for Spearhead as well,
Yeah, or like a
that would take
compact.
Spearhead from like a 10 out of 10 to like 11 out of 10. Because in my opinion, Spearhead right now is the best major game system you can play. I'm not including SDS stuff because the special design studio just absolutely murders the main studio. It's not even a competition for like enjoyment value. SDS studio products are 10 times what main house is. I've never seen anybody, like most players, like when they're like, hey, I'm in a hobby slump, you know what they say? Go pick up a box of Necromunda, read the lore on them. You'll be back into the hobby in a week. Like literally, no, but
I
seriously,
believe it.
right? Like you can pick up one Necromunda box and there's your entire army, paint it up to be cool, have some cool lore behind them. Once you get into the rule, you're like, man, these guys are sick. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, you're in a Necromunda campaign. You're like, oh my God, what was it doing? Anyways, and then that's how you have a pile of unpainted minis. But this book thing is genius because you can literally just flip a page and you're on a new map. Flip a page, another map.
Well, it also
Another
makes
map.
it, super easy to move, like take place to place. Even if you want to like have a game at school, have a game.
No,
Don't
but
do
yeah,
it
why not?
during class.
No, not during
Do your
class.
work.
But I'm saying like, like there's like Warhammer clubs and stuff becoming popular now. Take Darkwater and instead of playing like your main games, your Paths to Glories, your Spearheads all the time, just say, hey guys, for the next like 2-3 weeks, we're going to take a break from the main games and stuff. We're going to change it up. We're split. There's 10 of us. We each pitch in, $30. There's a Darkwater box split between us. We keep it in the classroom. Nobody takes the minis home. It's owned by everybody. And you have a community Darkwater box for your club. I mean, that's
I
sick.
think that's so
such a good
sick.
idea. I would do that in a heartbeat with my friends.
I think it's such a good idea.
I wish we had something like this when I was young, or I wish it was as accessible as it is now too.
Yes,
Back in the day, I played Warhammer back when Forge World was a catalog, a physical book. I still have one, actually. I still have like a 2006 or 2007 Forge World catalog, and in there was the first time you could buy a resin Trigon, which is now a plastic kit that almost every Tyranid player has one. I'm so old in this hobby. I'm from back when resin Trigons were a thing, and you had to order it off Forge World, and it was like $300. It was crazy. But yeah, those kits were.
Well, even just being able to see the models in person, like at a store, versus just looking at a catalog makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's like we've been discussing this a lot off camera in our private life, is that quote from Andy, from anybody who watches The Office, which is the quote that probably hits everyone very hard when they first hear it. It's a very, very powerful quote. And I don't think at the time, people, when they were filming The Office, they realized how powerful that quote actually is. And the quote is, I wish we could know we were living in the good old days as we're living them. Sadly, it's the truth.
Yeah, it's always
Like imagine how the cast of The Office feels, like thinking back to them filming what is now the #1 watched show ever created. As a matter of fact, I recommend most people Google the amount of watch hours that The Office had in 1 year. It had like 7 billion watch hours or something. Like it had more watch hours than humans on the planet in 1 year. That's how big The Office was during the peak of COVID.
Yeah, it's insane.
So anyways, that's my little hobby rant and a little office talk there as well. Anyway, sorry about that. There's just not a lot to talk about on the preview, so I had to make an episode
Improvise.
out of nothing. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for another book club. I believe it's our second last one of the book, and then we're actually done.
Yeah, it should.
We're going to be like done the year, done the book, and then I think we're going to take a 1 week break, and then we'll be diving into a new book in the year. Be a week into the new year, because first week of New Year is kind of crazy for everybody. So we're being very aware of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, what you want. And have a wonderful week. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for another book club episode. Bye.
Bye. Love you.